So after using the Canon 45mm F1.2 STM lens, I came to a definite conclusion about why this lens is one of the best lenses that Canon has released in a very long time. I think the experience with that kind of lens differs in terms of the kind of person that is using this kind of lens. Personally, I've realized that this lens is a lot dreamier than I'd ever find with any other kind of lenses. And relatively, in terms of the price to value ratio, this is the first time that Canon has released an RF mount lens that is way budgetier and also at f1.2 aperture range. There are a lot of people who are making a lot of fuss about this lens, making a lot of statements which sometimes become a little bit inaccurate, especially considering the fact that most of these people or users are coming from higher expensive $2,500 above dollars price tier brackets for those kind of prime lenses to this kind of sub $500 lens. The relative comparison between two categories of lenses, especially the 50mm f1.2 prime lens, I think the differences have to be stated clearly in terms of price. We all know that Canon's prices are so outrageous when it comes to the RF mount system. So for me, I think that this experience of people comparing the RF mount and making the RF 45mm f1.2, assuming that this will be clinical, also becoming more focus intensive, that argument and clarification needs to be made. For me, primarily, I use this lens to shoot portraits and also for a lot of dreamy shots, especially when you are doing weddings. This is the lens that for me, I think really excites me within all the RF mount system. It's extremely lightweight at 346 grams, which is an unheard of, especially when it comes to an f1.2 aperture range. The value of this lens in terms of the value of any other lens that you find in the market, this is an unmatched quality. Really sharp when it comes to the center of plane and very soft when it comes to the corners. That is what I think this lens makes it more different from other RF mount lenses. If you look at this lens I'm using to record this video, the 28 to 70mm f2.8, it is clinically sharp even at the corners and really sharp also within the center. If you look at the RF 45mm f1.2, it is only really sharp within the focal plane of contact. So my face is really sharp and then the sides is really swirly and bocalicious. That is one of the characteristics of this lens that makes it more beautiful. It also has this kind of vintage look, which I really love and like its quality and the nature of the image that it produces. This is something that you would never find with any RF mount lens with Canon. The cinematic quality that this lens produces in terms of the dimensionality, giving it a little bit of 3D pop, makes this lens way different from what you find with any other lens. And I like the quality that comes out of this. It is perhaps Canon's best lens within the RF mount system. And I'm not saying best as in terms of image quality that you're going to find, which becomes a lot more sharper, but I mean a lens that gives a little bit of texture, a lens that has some kind of vintage look, a lens that has some kind of character is what I'm talking about. This RF 45mm f1.2 lens. Almost all the RF lenses that I've used have no character at all. They are just really sharp, they are straight, giving you beautiful quality. But that's not what this lens was meant for. This one was meant to mimic the EF 50mm f1.2 air glass. And this lens for me, I think that it's giving those kind of quality from the EF glass. I did a few photo shoots and I realized that the 45mm f1.2, even with the bokeh, it is really battery smooth, and you find the swirliness to become a little bit more compressed and dense and gives a little bit of eye dreamy texture to it. This lens is not meant for everyone. It is meant for people who really want to appreciate it, not someone who has used an 85mm f1.2, which is a $3,500 lens, come to use a $450 lens. That is huge difference and experience that you're going to get out of this. I mean, I think that the baseline of this argument is that people should just allow other people to immerse themselves in it. 45mm f1.2 lens replaces the nifty 50mm f1.8 prime lens, which is extremely budget tier. I also stand to be corrected, but I think that this lens is a little bit more beautiful, has a lot of character and niceness when it comes to the image quality than the 35mm f1.8. And the 35mm f1.8 and the 45mm f1.2 are within the same price bracket here, except that the 35mm f1.8 has image stabilization and it also doubles as a macro lens. For me, I think that this is one of the most budget-friendly lenses in terms of giving pro quality and making the bokeh character to be immersed into a 2025 prime lens that you can only find within the Canon RF 45mm F1.2 Pro lens.